we're talking today about um, how other people reflect what we have, and how we can impact their uh, their behavior by not allowing those words to be taken in. For instance, say abusive relationship for because that seems to be a lot I hear lately, narcissism and that sort of thing. So for me, I went into abusive relationship one after the other. Whether it was emotional or physical, it was still teaching me something. For me, when, for instance, something, so half of the time we feel ourselves, because we want to be loved, we will change in order to meet around another person, not realizing that we're forgetting our own authentic self. So when someone is being abusive, we feel that, oh, they will change, and I've been there. They will change, but I don't. Now, when I reflect upon those times, I see that if a person is not going to change, we cannot make them change. The reason we stay in abusive relationship most of the time is basically looking for an opportunity to get away, but looking for another relationship, which is again going from frying pan into the fire, because the main issue where we come across abusive partners is where we ourselves feel not worthy enough for anything better. We always have that choice to walk away, but we think, no, we can change them. We will love them harder. But that person, it's not that they don't love you, it's that they fear being loved. They fear sharing their own love with you, because there's fear of how will I cope when I lose this person if I love them. So, and for person who's not, who's taking the abuse, we are basically feeling that that's all we're worthy of, when really and truly we haven't loved ourselves enough to grow, to say, you know, the love is within me. If a person is not being nice to us, we should be able to say in the right words, by not being angry, because understanding that their behavior is a reflection of what we are lacking in our life. So like a movie where someone has to play the bad guy, these guys have taken on the role of playing these not so nice behaviors, only to awaken us from what we've suppressed whilst growing up as a child. So where for me personally, I took on the words somehow from other people saying you're ugly and this and that, and if someone marries you, you should feel really happy that someone's even willing to marry you. So it's those sort of comments that I've taken on to kind of stick around in a relationship, thinking that I couldn't do any better. But coming to a realization to say, do I really need anyone? Because after I became single mom in 1992, I survived my life by myself. Even prior to that, I was surviving with my life by myself, but it was the lack of love which I which I went through as a child, that I wanted when I was an adult. So hence going with partners who are not ready for relationships or ready to love. Yes, I can say they're not ready to love, but then I wasn't loving myself. Even if someone loved me, I wouldn't feel their love, because the resistance there is within as well. The fear is one of the resistance, fear of losing the one we're trying to love, and their fear is to love you because you might go. So and in the world that this has become, it's so sad that when a lot of people are not ready for a great connecting relationship. One is that when a person passes, what will I do? So there's that fear, which is a God's creation. When someone is to go, they go. Basically, it's said in science as well. We don't stay or a day longer or less from the time that we've come on this planet. So that's a divine kind of connection. But the one that's alarming at the moment, I feel, is where there's so much fear of progressing into a relationship, for the fear of finances, for the fear of laws, for the fear of cultures. These things are very kind of mind trapping, in the sense of, if I marry her, is she going to be trustworthy? What about my bank account? Let me open a side, the prenups, all these. But are we not seeing this is a creation of, this might happen, so have a prenup. So already in your mind, you're creating that this is going to be the case. So what you create in your mind is what you create outside. So even if the relationship is going to be absolutely perfect, if you have this prenup and agreements, you're still in that mind frame that somewhere along the line it's going to go wrong. And when you have suspicions, oh my God, she's got access to millions of my money or whatever, but now she's seeing another guy, or this is again a kind of a suspension that we create in life, because the law is all based around, okay, so if he's having an affair, you can get this. If he's being adultery, you can get this. So even if two people come to an amicable arrangement to separate, the laws will get involved in order to have their streams met, basically. And this is the sad part about it. We are relying on governments to control us from living apart from people that we don't want to be with. A lot of people are living in relationships that they're not happy with just because of finances and how the law is keeping them entrapped in these legislations or whatever angle of law that you guys come up with. And the sad part of the prolonging of it, okay, so we've come to this decision. Oh, okay, so the court is not open till this. The lawyer needs this work. They need proof. Come on. So who is better proof than the two people who are living together? How is it that the book can tell you how people are behaving when everyone is programmed differently? Are you trying to say to me that, you know, you're creating laws in order to kind of make people's mind controlled in the way that, you know, oh, I want to live separately, oh, but I can't do it because the courts won't allow this. You know, it's just diabolical. We really need to come to a place where we see what is our authenticity and what is just a sheepish way of living and following a structure that no longer holds human values.